Time for business news now. East African governments have been urged not to ban imports in order to safeguard livelihoods. According to a report by the Mitumba Consortium Association of Kenya, mitumba imports have increased by 139% over the last year, with the sector now employing over 3.4 million people across East Africa. Noah Kipkemboi reports.
The second-hand clothing industry is a mainstay for many Kenyans, creating over 2 million jobs in Kenya and 3.4 million across the East Africa region.
It is a sector which is incredibly jobs rich, and its ability to create more employment for people is almost unending. It can continue to create more and more jobs, more and more opportunities for employment in this sector. So we argue that the second-hand clothing sector is vital for the economic and social future of these countries. It will continue to provide more jobs in the future.
The second-hand clothing sector is not just about selling used clothes. It represents a powerful force for economic growth, environmental sustainability, and job creation in East Africa. It is a sector that empowers millions of people, particularly women and young people.
But the emerging sentiments of slowing down clothes imports in favor of locally produced is gaining momentum, with mitumba sector players warning of negative consequences.
To argue that we need less second-hand clothing in order to revive the domestic textile production industry is, in our view, a mistake, because there is no evidence that weakening second-hand clothes would lead to a revival in domestic textile manufacturing.
Mitumba cannot and does not undermine manufacturing in Kenya. Our proposal as mitumba traders is that the government can continue to revive our textile industry and mitumba can still continue. They can compete. This way we create a healthy competition as we also continue to protect the livelihoods of 2 million Kenyans.
The study, dubbed the second-hand clothing industry in the East Africa community, called on the government to make significant investment in the second-hand clothing sector, modernizing local textile value chain.
If you want to revive domestic textile manufacturing, then you need policies, industrial policies, capital investment in infrastructure that would lead to the long-term growth of domestic manufacturing.
Compared to Kenya. And number two, in Kenya, if today they ban mitumba for manufacturing or local textiles, the truth is we do not have an existing local textile. It would mean that we stop buying from the Western and we start buying from the East, because that's where you get the fabrics to make our new clothing in Kenya.
The sector defended itself after a rising anti-mitumba sentiment, which is gaining momentum on the heels of revamping Kenya's textile sector. Noah Kipkemboi, KTN News.
Now, Kenyans can across the country can